Welcome to another Hows and Drows breakdown. Today we're talking about Minnesota's best in the league defense again, but more importantly, we're talking about how their roster construction makes Rudy Gobert's impact something totally different to what he had in Utah, and ultimately what made him exposable in Utah. Now the Jazz were obviously a fantastic team when Gobert was paired up with Donovan Mitchell, but we saw how their lack of perimeter defenders left Gobert unprotected on so many occasions, the most famous being the Clippers series when his reputation as an exposable defender was cemented. That's why it was so intriguing to watch the Wolves suffocate this new and improved version of the Clippers with Gobert at the middle of it all. Gobert's clearly going to do his thing every night defensively, but without his teammates providing him help, he's not going to be able to do everything. That's where this Wolves team differs from the Jazz. They have elite defenders scattered through their roster, and they enhance Gobert's strengths and limit his weaknesses. We saw it all in this game against a really good Clippers team, but I think the second half was the best defense we've seen all season. So we see here to begin with, if McDaniels doesn't cut off this original cut from Paul George, Gobert is stuck here in drop, having to get out and contest a potential three. So that's the first danger shut down. So the Clippers are going to cycle through their offense, and they obviously have a ton of threats to go to. It gets back to Harden, and now it's Gobert getting up here and making his rotation to shut down a drive. So it swings to Kawhi, and Edwards is here closing out to stop that shot and staying with him to stop him from getting downhill and forcing Gobert to deal with that superstar at the rim. Gobert is going to do a ton every night just like he did in Utah, but having McDaniels and Edwards prevent some of those actions by doing their own work is a godsend and something he hasn't really had before. Again, Edwards is going to stick with PG on this curling Iverson cut through here to stop the first option on the play, but when George goes into the post and then pops off this down screen, Edwards is going to do enough to allow Gobert a simple rotation here, while Edwards helps him again by veering back into the body of Tice and getting a defensive rebound. It's a symbiotic relationship. The Wolves help prevent Gobert from being overworked, and Gobert helps the defense by being the league's best rim protector. So Conley gets screened here, and McDaniels is so alert on this quick show out to allow Conley to recover. If he isn't, then Harden has this lane into Rudy, waiting down here, and that's tough to stop. So McDaniels gets himself back to Kawhi before he can gain an advantage. He and Anthony Edwards contain the Kawhi PG corner action and stop anything perilous from happening there. Eventually it's pick and roll. Edwards digs in here to tag the roll man, but he switched on to get out to PG up the top here as well, because if he blows by the defense, Gobert is in trouble trying to get down here to stop that drive. So Ant stays in front, forces George to kick it out, and Towns is doing the helping on the perimeter here to get a hand up in Harden's face and help force the miss. This is high level defense, and the entire team is there helping insulate Gobert. And when you get stops like that, it helps kickstart offense, and all of a sudden Minnesota is turning that defensive brilliance into run-out points at the other end. Again, McDaniels is out on the perimeter in a place where nobody wants to be with Kawhi Leonard, but the way he hassles him, it extends the possession, allows Towns to come up here and trap him, and now it's Gobert's turn to come up and force Westbrook to pass out of fear, and then get back and force Tice into a tough fall-away look. And, for good measure, he blocks Westbrook's shot at the rim after the offensive rebound. Sometimes it's just as simple as getting through screens and forcing scorers away from the paint to help Gobert. Kyle Anderson gets through this screen. If he doesn't, George is curling around it, and he's a freight train rumbling at a stationary Gobert in the paint. Instead, it's a bricked jumper because Anderson stays on his hip throughout the entire possession. And when Minnesota do make a mistake, teams need to capitalize on it. Ant calls this switch here and they blow it. That's the kind of thing that leaves Gobert exposed trying to get back here and cover Harden on that back cut. But LA missed that opportunity, so now it's Edwards locking up Leonard, That means Gobert can come here and help with the double team. McDaniels stops him from being punished for that double team by digging in here, and then the Wolves complete the possession with a hard and fast closeouts. Anderson comes up here to Harden, and then McDaniels is sprinting back out to the corner to get a really strong contest up on PG's three-point attempt. Gobert might be the league's best defender, but defense only works if you have 5 guys on a string like this. Everybody is helping each other, and even a team with the firepower that the Clippers have are going to have to make tough shots if that's the case. And this is another perfect example of that. Anthony Edwards is the first helper stopping the power drive here. Then McDaniels is here fanning out to help the corner. When Kawhi gets past that closeout, Gobert is helping on the drive. He has to pass it out, so Kyle Anderson has to come up here and stunt between 2 players at the top. There's no shot there, so Gobert digs back down into the middle to stop Harden's drive. They force the pass again, and McDaniels is back out here on Kawhi. There's still no shot available, so Gobert steps up again to take Leonard on the drive and eventually finish off a ridiculous possession with a ridiculous block. It's helpers helping helpers helping helpers. That's why the Timberwolves are the best defense in the league, and that's why they can't be compared to the defenses of Gobert's Utah Jazz days. And even when Gobert is out where he doesn't want to be on a perimeter island, it's a different team around him. Harden has him in a pickle here, but Anderson steps over in gap help to stop this drive. That forces the offense away from that Gobert mismatch, and he has never ever had someone who can make 20-foot closeouts the way Jaden McDaniels can with his length and his foot speed. In the past, that's a wide open look, but McDaniels makes it a contested 3 and it ends up in a miss. And look, anything can happen between now and the end of the season, and anything can happen in the playoffs as well. But it's unfair to paint Rudy Gobert with the same brush that he's been painted with for all these years in Utah, because he simply isn't playing with the same level of defensive talent. This version of the Timberwolves isn't just relying on him to clean up mistakes all night long. They're forcing misses themselves and covering for Gobert when he happens to make a mistake or be pulled out of position by the offense. That's the difference, and that's why I think the Wolves have a chance to break some playoff curses if they are able to stay healthy. Thanks again for watching another Howls and Growls breakdown. Please subscribe for more Timberwolves content.